We have it recorded. All right, so we're officially recorded now. So Lonnie, man, pretty much let's start out here, man, and let's tell the group a little bit more about yourself.
All right. Yeah, like Sherman was saying, my name is Alonza, but I'm going by Lonnie to honor my father. He passed away early on in my life, but I just want to honor him, so that's what I'm going by. So for me, I'm originally from Savannah, Georgia. I left home in 2005 to join the military. That's what brought me to Missouri, which I had a lot of good experiences being in Missouri. Not even knowing that I had a passion for real estate. While I was in Missouri, after I moved out of the dorms, the first place that I moved into, my first apartment, was actually a quadruplex. And I actually had a conversation with my landlord, and he told me that he used to live in one and rent out the other three. So that always stuck with me throughout, from being a young man to growing to today. So I've always thought of, the importance of real estate in that aspect. But I've been in the military for about 17 years. I just hit 17 years in May, and the career field that I'm in is it's called services. And for those of you who don't know, we services is a few different avenues. So we have you can work at the dining facility, you work at lodging, you work at the fitness center, you work at readiness, which is deploying people, and also mortuary, which I've had the privilege to work in all of the different aspects of it. Which a lot of airmen coming in, they kind of have a negative um, mindset of services, because hey, you think of the military, you don't think of working at the gym or working at the dining facility cooking food. But for me, that gave me a wealth of experience in customer service and a great appreciation for customer service. So whenever I'm out and I get an experience where somebody is taking really good care of me, that always makes me feel good. So like just over the years, that just became a part of me. Just noticing how people in customer service treat the customers. So that's one thing that drew me to Airbnb. I have the opportunity to, provide a high quality service for customers and treat them in a way that I would want to be treated. So I really like that.
So Lonnie, I'm hearing two things here, man. As far as what kind of help set the foundation from you, man. As far as with the quadruplex, as you mentioned, as I think you stayed in one unit, and then now, as you mentioned, that you're in the military and that you work in services. So, it's like it's a seed that's always planted, right? And so, in your line of business, you got the real estate, and then now you have the customer service based to go with that. So here you are, man, from Georgia, in the military, but at the same time, you're in an Airbnb business. So tell us, man, what brought upon, and if I'm not mistaken, you and your wife is into the Airbnb business. What brought you guys? Made you want to start it?
Okay, good question. So there was a time where my wife, she was deployed, and she has we have family out here in San Antonio, and we were stationed out in Dias, which is Abilene. It's like the Texas version of Knob Noster.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was in the sticks. So
Yeah.
we were there, and she got deployed, and I was just talking with my cousin, and we thought it would be a good idea to come down to San Antonio and just spend the weekend and just hang out with each other, because we hadn't seen each other in a while. So I was really new to Airbnb. I didn't know too much about it, but I thought it was like a big city thing. So I was like, all right, if I go to a big city, I'm gonna do Airbnb. I'm gonna catch a lift and just live
Hey.
that world. But so I end up getting the Airbnb, and me and my cousin end up staying there. And I noticed that it was in an apartment complex.
Wow.
And the host, he said, "All right." So in his description, he sent me the information for the gate. He sent me information for. He had a lock pad on the door, so I never met him. And he was saying that his business doesn't have a on-site person. So if I need to get in contact with anybody, don't go down to the front office. Contact him directly, either through the platform or by phone. So while I was there, that kind of went over my head. But after I left, I was thinking, I was just kind of boggled by it. I was like, I wonder if that guy just rents out a unit there and then just rents it out on Airbnb, or if he actually works with the apartment complex, because it didn't feel like he was affiliated with the
Right.
apartment complex directly. So that kind of sparked my curiosity. So I went to YouTube, which I'm on all the time, just trying to just collect different types of information. And I heard people talking about doing that, the arbitration, and I was like, man, that's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. I bet you can make some pretty good money. So I did the numbers. I worked on how much I paid for the night and just multiplied it by 30. And I was like, oh yeah, this is interesting.
So how much? I'm curious. How much was he charging when you stay there?
It was a one bedroom, just like a living room, just a one bedroom, one bath. He charged about 120, 130, something
Okay.
around that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
like a normal rate, I guess, for like what you would have paid at a hotel, basically.
Right. And
Yeah.
then, it's like cleaning fees and, different things like that. So yeah, it was a good bid for that, for what we got. So I felt good as a customer getting, a bigger room than a hotel, but then, I'm sure he makes out pretty good. So I just thought of that, and it seemed like a good idea.
Nice, nice. That's good, man. That's good. So that started the idea. And so walk us through the next steps as take us to where you're at today as far as planting the seeds for as Airbnb.
Okay, so after that, I just jumped on YouTube pretty heavy and was just researching it, and I said, hey, this is something that I'm gonna get into eventually. I know that I'm gonna get into it. I really want to do it. So I was, speaking into existence. I was
Mhm.
telling everybody, but time was going by and I wasn't doing it. But we actually got orders to San Antonio, and just thinking about what is in San Antonio, what's around there's uh, basic training for the Air Force. So that means there's families coming in every week for graduations. So each week there are about 500 airmen graduating.
Wow.
So that's families coming in on a weekly basis from Thursday to Sunday. A lot of them are staying. So that we have SeaWorld, we have Six Flags out here. So that's big. It brings in more people, and then the Spurs. So I just thought that this was like a perfect place and to get started and to try to do this. So whenever we got the orders to come here, we didn't want to waste our BAH living on base or renting, so we looked into buying a property. And it just so happened, like a few months before we got the orders, my cousin sent me a video about multifamily homes. So that stuck with me. So I was like, all right, we got to get a multifamily home because we could live in one side and rent out the other. And that was just that brought back to me the quadruplex that I stayed into in Missouri. So like, yeah, that's a no brainer. So we end up getting with a realtor, and we got with him, and he found us a duplex. And whenever we came here, we moved pretty much straight into the duplex. So at the time, we had renters in one side, but recently they moved out. So it was just like, all right, now it's time to now it's game time. You know what I mean? So
Now you probably was probably looking for that opportunity, probably telling the wife, like, look, we're not setting up another lease. And, this been planted in my head, this Airbnb. And then like, here it is, the prime opportunity. COVID is numbers are going down. So you got more and more people want to travel now and get to the point of the Airbnb. So that worked out pretty cool. So I'll just tell you how I kind of like got interested is I saw you post you and your wife your first listing on Airbnb, and I'll say, "Wow, man, this is this guy that I knew back at Whiteman." It's stuff that you see on YouTube, and then now you're actually doing it. So, walk with us, man. As far as so what did you guys have to do in order to get like part of Airbnb? I always hear like these applications, making sure your place is, appropriate inspection. So what all did you guys have to do in order for to get your residents ready for Airbnb?
yeah, it was actually a pretty simple process to get listed on the platform. So there are city not restrictions, but you have to city permits that you have to get. So Airbnb actually has links that you can follow to they guide you to your city what is it? The requirements that your city requires for you to do. So here in San Antonio, you need a short-term rental permit. So that's one thing. So that is $100 for that permit because it's a short-term rental property. And then also you have to pay hotel occupancy tax. So that's another thing. So that those funds come back to the city. So
Now let me ask you a question: is that per listing, or you pay that like on an annual basis?
it's a monthly base,
Okay,
monthly. So and I believe it's per listing. Since I only have one, I'm not
I
that
got you.
familiar, but I believe it's on a listing by listing thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one thing that you have to do, and then also finding the location. We had a multifamily, so we own the other one, so we don't have to get into an agreement with either like an apartment complex. So from what I was hearing online, uh, when people are trying to rent out those apartment complexes, what they have to do is either get with the owner of the apartment complex or either a manager that can make a decision. And what you will have to do is get an LLC and present yourself as not just an Airbnb host trying to move into their property. You're present yourself as a business, giving them an opportunity to serve different types of people that come in for different reasons. So with COVID, a big thing was the travel nurses. Those were people that were being not targeted, but that was a target audience because they
Yeah.
need a place to stay, and they could be in the city for 6 months or longer. And also, there's different businesses and military. We get PCS and PCA to different or TDY to different areas. So just being familiar with that type of verbiage and presenting that to those different places so that they would allow you to use their property for that, for those short-term rental. But in our circumstance, since we had our own property, we kind of bypassed asking for permission to do that. But that is something that I do want to get into because as you know, buying a house, there's a big down payment,
Mhm.
plus furniture, so the expenses can get up pretty high. So if you can, either pay a deposit first and last month of rent, or work something out between either another like owner of a house or a condo, or actually an apartment complex, getting in contact with them. So if you can use their property to host your Airbnb, that'll save you on the front end. So
You know, Lonnie, I've been hearing a lot about that particular strategy here, Alton, here recently as well. People, using going through the owners, right? And then, the owners have to agree to it, but the owners is actually getting it cut because they don't necessarily know the processes as far as what it take to get an Airbnb, but the actual tenants that's in the property, they're able to bring in, additional income and then give the cuts to the owners as well. So I've been seeing that model. I seen a guy the other day talking about it on YouTube. So I think that's going to be another hot up and coming way to for owners to make passive income as well from a long term standpoint and short term, kind of having a little mixture of both in itself. So,
Mhm.
so tell me this. So you guys, so you just recently started, right? So you went through your processes. You went through the Airbnb. So what was your first listing like, man? What was it? What was like the feelings and emotions? Because that was just here recently, right? Like less than a month ago.
Oh yes, sir. It was about 10 days ago. It was
10 days ago.
my
Wow.
I probably
Wow.
I probably put it up 2 weeks ago, and then it just blew up. So not I put it up on, let's say, the fifth was my first guess. I had my first guess. So since then I've had eight guests so far,
Wow.
and
Wow.
I have 25 upcoming bookings. So, and I have one
Wow.
guy who booked for 10 days, and that's paying out $1,100.
Wow.
So that's incentive to keep going, because since it is a duplex, our mortgage is 2,100 a month. So with renting, we were making, after we played the property manager, we were making $1,400 from the tenant. They pay us $1,400. So 2,100 minus 14, we're paying $700 a month for our side of the duplex. But with the projection for this month, June, we should make 1,900.
Wow.
So yeah, so I mean, it if that was all profit, I would only pay $200 for rent. But I did for furniture and furniture, internet, and the lights and everything. All the items that I put into the Airbnb, I used a credit card, which I did end up getting an LLC, and I got a business credit card, business banking account, which it keeps the money from being commingled together. You don't want to mix your personal money with your business money. So having that separation is very key, and then you can always look back and see how much you've actually how much your expenses were. So
Wow, man, that's very interesting. So let me ask you this question here. So you listed on Airbnb, and then how does that work as far
uh,
as that process?
okay, so they make it really easy, and they actually they help out the hosts that are just starting out. So they have a training video that you watch whenever you're setting up your first listing. So for the first 30 days, they'll actually use an algorithm that's going to boost your listing up closer to the top, because they want more eyes on your listing to develop you as a host. So that's why that plays a part in why we booked up so fast. And they do if you see people who have a super host, there are certain requirements that you have to hit, because they have an assessment period. It's which is usually about a quarter. So luckily we jumped in at the right time. The quarter is about to end, and you have to have 10 stays, keep 5 star. Well, no, it's like 4.8 stars, be above that on your reviews, and your rating, and then you can become an all-star host. So just from the listings from this month, by July 1st, we should be all-star hosts, which is going to help push us up to the top, because that's what it's about, being a top performer so that you actually get eyes on your listing, because people get they it's like a Google search. It's not going to go to page 2 and 3 too often, so you want to be as close to the top as possible. But as far as listing, it's similar to listing on a social media type web page. So you get your pictures uploaded, which whenever we moved into our place, since it is a like an investment type community, there was a photographer in the area. So I knew that I wanted to do Airbnb, so I got his card, and I told him that, hey, one day I'm gonna contact you so I can get you to come and take professional pictures. So that was something that was key. So whenever we got our place set up, I made sure to get a professional photographer to come and take those pictures. So
Hey, Lonnie, you know what? It's funny though, because you had this like planet from like years, and then it's like you got all these processes in place as far as pictures and as far as like some of the things that need to get done. So that was smart, because here you are, you're thinking in advance of, okay, soon as this tenant leave, like it ain't no long-term lease. This is a short-term lease. That's all good. So you bought the furniture to put in there. So what was your first, I guess, person that stayed there? Was it like 1, 2 days? And what was you and your wife feeling on that first day? Was it a little bit nervous? Because you right next to them, so
you're
it ain't
right.
like they a mile away. So what was that experience like?
Yeah, it was kind of nerve wracking because I have kids too, and I'm like, oh, I don't want them to be too loud and hitting the walls and scaring people off and getting bad reviews, because that's something that I want to get that all-star host or the super host. So I want to be as accommodating as possible. So the first rental went pretty well. I was kind of nervous about not having enough linen, because last minute I saw, because I wasn't that familiar with the platform. I saw that they were going to have 7 adults. So my place it has enough room for that, but if somebody needs some extra blankets or anything like that. So I end up like going to, like, after they checked in, I went to the dollar store and I grabbed some extra linen. And I was like, oh, what do I do? Should I stop by? Should I ring the doorbell and drop it off and run off? Or should I, introduce myself? So I decided to introduce myself to him and just let him know, hey, if you need extra linen, I just wanted to drop this off and give it to you. And if you need anything, just let me know. So they actually left that in their review, their first review. Well, and the girl, the female who answered the door, she said that she loved the decor. She said she was really impressed. She got more than she expected, so that was instant feedback. So that was good to know. So they liked how the place looked. But whenever they left, they mentioned that that I dropped off extra linen inside of their
Nice.
review. So that was pretty cool. It was just like, hey, this guy's accommodating. He even brought us extra linen. So that was pretty good. And one thing that I've learned from watching videos, and also I do Toro too. So it's some of the practices that I learned from that I carry over to Airbnb, is asking for a 5-star review, because out of sight, out of mind. If you don't ask for it, they won't do it. But if you ask for it, they'll be more willing to oblige. So I even have that. I have a checkout instructions, and on my checkout instructions, I think it's like number 9. If you enjoyed your stay, leave the host a 5-star review. So I just follow up with that. So
And Lonnie, I would tell you those reviews are important, because about 3 weeks ago, my family and I, we stayed in Atlanta in an Airbnb. It slept like 16 people, And before we moved in, though, or we stayed over, we looked at the reviews. And so initially, like the reviews early in the year was like good, but like towards like a month before we was getting ready to go in, we was looking at like the last couple of weeks in reviews. And it was like the place wasn't clean. And so my family, man, they start, asking us like, hey, you sure like this is the place that we want to stay? So I can kind of see from what you're saying as far as those reviews, those all-star reviews are definitely important. Now, let me ask you a question as far as with June, right? So you booked up for June. How far in advance can you be booked up? Is there like a limitation?
No, my calendar is wide open. But you can set cutoffs if you want. Some people may set it cut it off for 3 months or 6 months, but I kept it open. But it does give you the opportunity to block off dates. So I have my mom coming in town in July, so I was supposed to block off some dates, but I forgot. I didn't think it was going to book up so fast.
Yeah.
But you do have the option to block off a few days, and I think that that's important too because I'm finding that cleaning, which is common sense, cleaning is going to be pretty important, but it is very demanding. So me and my wife, we've been cleaning it. We haven't got a cleaning service just yet, so we've been doing the cleaning, and those onesie twosies. If people are staying one night and they're staying, then you're cleaning the next day, and you're cleaning thoroughly for the next customer, the next guest. So that's time consuming. And oh, sorry.
No, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say that was one mistake that I did make, setting the time blocks, because I wanted to take it a step beyond like hotels, and like no, I hate checking in at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and checking out at 6 in the morning. So I was like, I'm gonna do right by my customer. So I placed it at check in at 12 o'clock, check out at 1 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
So I learned real quick that no, that's not gonna work, because
Right.
that as soon as a guest reserve like the next day, I'm backpedaling like, hey, we're gonna need time to clean this place up. So I changed my time. I have a 3 hour window. So check in is at 3, and checkout is at 12. So 12 to 3, I'm in there cleaning it. You know what I mean? But I am looking to get a cleaning service that a few of them actually that I can, have them on standby and ready to go. Mm.
Do you charge a late fee? Let's say, for instance, if somebody check out after 12 o'clock.
I haven't ran into that situation just yet, and I haven't set any fees for being late.
Yeah.
But I know that it is coming, so I need to plan. That is something I need to plan for.
Yeah. It's funny though, man, because the Airbnb that we stayed in Atlanta, we had to check out at 10 o'clock. And as soon as we checked out at 10 o'clock that morning, the cleaning lady was on the outside ready to clean that place up because the next people that was coming in was at 5 o'clock. And this, like I say, it slept 16 people. And it was only one cleaning lady. So she was giving herself about 7 hours to get it clean. But man, you think about 3 hours changing linen, sweeping, mopping. I'm sure that time go quick.
It does.
Ensuring everything is in place. So now that's pretty interesting, Olani. This Airbnb, man. We want to go ahead and open it up because I'm sure there'll probably be some more questions that came about that you and I discussed. But just from a baseline standpoint, we was kind of talking a little bit earlier as far as this provides just another like type of like passive income. Initially starting out with you, this is adding more money than your long-term rental. I think the more and more you get into it, the more and more you get experience. And man, I just see this blowing up for you as far as this is just a seed that's being planted and being able to capitalize on more properties and being able to leverage, like you say, other places to where you can do it. Because once you get the experience, right,
Mhm.
especially as a people don't want to necessarily, they want to be, they want to own real estate, right? And be landlords and things of that nature, right? They want to do it, but when the work it takes to do it and the issues that come with it, the money looks good, but the issues come with it. It's just like they kind of want to get out of it. But you get the experience along with, you know, the capital that comes with it. And then once you have that as an expectation, you know, that's just part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's just, you just go on to the next one and you build, you build, you build, you build, and you build. So so that's good, man. That's good. So let's win financial community. I want to go ahead and just open it up to you guys. If you got majority of you muted. And so we're going to start our question and answer session here. As you've been hearing from Lonnie and this Airbnb business. And Lonnie also mentioned, I mean, this guy right here, he ain't sitting back waiting for his paychecks to come. I mean, this guy doing Airbnb, this guy doing Turo. I mean, just making it happen, man, letting his money work for him. So let's open it up and get some of your Airbnb or Turo questions answered. And generally what happens is, Lonnie, they start out a little quiet and then as the person's first question goes. So yeah, let's yeah.
I won't bite.
I had a question. Can y'all hear me? I'm driving.
Hey, Kenyatta, how's it going?
Fantastic. I just had a question. Are you utilizing your Turo services along with your Airbnb, making it like a package deal? Like if you're coming in town, we also have this car available that you can rent. That way you packaging it together.
No, man, I haven't done that yet. I have to do a little more research on how the two platforms can like merge together because of scheduling conflicts potentially.
Right. If they book out in advance enough, you can get both revenue streams. So you can have them both coming in at the same time. It makes more sense. So you have somebody coming in for a week, then you can also provide the transportation if they flying in. So you want to put that in your Airbnb post. Say, hey, I also do Turo, and I know if you flying in, you know, you can rent this Turo for me. I'll give you a deal, a better rate, blah blah, right? Because you're trying to sell the whole package.
That makes sense.
So you can get both streams of revenue, right? Just wanted to share that.
Yeah, no, that's a good thought. I didn't think about that. That's a good niche. Thank you, Kenyatta, for bringing it.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Oh, wait a minute. One more thing. I'm sorry. I just thought about a different revenue source from the same thing. Also, you can also, if you want to take it up a step or get a partner with the Airbnb, you can do those trips where they have like, you know, scavenger hunts or best coffee places. Like you can also add that to your Airbnb and start making money doing that, supplying them with a trip. Like you can have it where you only do it twice a month or whatever. But when they fly in, you can take them to all the cool specialty shops and then they pay you a fee for that. So it's so many ways that you can utilize Airbnb to make money. So that's two different streams of income from the same Airbnb source. And you throw in your Turo and that's three.
Okay.
Look at Kenyatta throwing out the different ideas. I like that. Thank you, Kenyatta, for bringing it. That's what this is all about, right? We're all about group learning and being able to capitalize on man, all the resources that's out here today. So thank you for that, Kenyatta. All right. Any more questions?
Yeah, I have a question, Cheryl.
Hey, Brother Jeff, how's it going?
I'm doing good.
All right.
I just want to say appreciate it to my brother here for giving us the knowledge on Airbnb. The thing I would like to know, what is the overhead expense on a monthly basis for your Airbnb? And also, did you ever run into any situation as of plumbing situation with a client or those manners? And if you did, what was it, and what was the cost on that?
Okay, that's a very good question, Jeff. So actually, I ran into my AC wasn't blowing as cold as it should have been. and that was on booking number 2. So I contacted the since this is a new unit, it's still under the builder's warranty. So I contacted the AC company, and they sent a tech out to come and take a look at the AC. I offered the customer, I offered them a discounted rate because Airbnb, they give you the option to reimburse funds pretty quickly through the host side. So I offered a refund, but she declined. She said that no, it was fine, because I did have fans in the unit as well, and I just directed her to the fans, the portable fans, and she used those. But she was very understanding about that, and the AC guys came out a little bit after she ended up leaving, but offering that discount, and just trying to be as courteous and accommodating as possible. I think it really went a long way for her. And then I had another incident which was out of my control. So this was, I think, the fourth guest. So so they were in the unit. They checked in on, let's say, Thursday. No, they checked in on Friday. So they was due to check out on Saturday. So I'm asleep, and I get a text, and it's from the guests, and they were saying, "Hey, the water's out." And so I was like, "What? The water's out?" I was like, "All right, I'm gonna look into it." So I jumped up and I checked my water, and sure thing, the water was out. So I called the city, the water company, and they said that there had been a main water break just right around the corner. So so I told them that, hey, yeah, there's something that happened that's out of my control. She was just like, hey, we haven't taken showers yet. This is like a bummer type deal. And she only had about 3 hours left in her stay. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning. They checked out at 12. So I was offering to take them to the base, to the gym, so that if they wanted showers, but she was just like, no, that's not gonna work for us. I have kids and everything like that, and well, is it possible for us to stay another day? Or so she was, trying to get something back. So I was just like, well, I could refund your stay. You know what I mean? Because I know it's a inconvenience and everything like that. So I end up giving her a refund, and I went to the store and I grabbed a case of water and dropped it off to them so that they could at least brush their teeth and have some type of water for the time being until they got out of the unit. So um, that, I think, dropping off that water coupled with the reimbursement, she still left a 5-star review. So
Wow.
that was still pretty good. So I'm just thinking outside of the box and trying to accommodate, maybe not going 100% refund. It came out of my mouth, and I couldn't take it back. And then I just honored that, because really at this point, I'm not in it for the money right now. I'm in it for the experience, and also providing a good service. So yeah, so that helped out.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, sir. But yeah, those things do come up, and I would suggest, right now we're covered under the builder's warranty, but I'm gonna get American Home Shield or a service like that, just in case I'm out of town and something does break down. I'll be able to call a maintenance person so that they can come and get it knocked out as soon as possible.
So Lonnie, you getting good experience early.
Right.
How to
Yeah.
maneuver, how to pivot.
Yeah, and I didn't mention that first person, the first guest. They were real nice, and they were pretty clean and everything. But I have no smoking signs throughout the house. And whenever I came after they left, it was clear that they were smoking weed in the house. So
In the house?
in the house, like
Wow.
it's outside. It's a patio. They could have went outside, but they wanted to smoke outside. I'm in the house. And I even found like little like flakes of weed like in the kitchen and stuff like that. Um, so I made sure to note that in their review, that hey, they didn't follow, that they're not following the rule. They didn't follow all of the rules, and I left a private comment to that guest saying, hey, you kept the house nice and clean and everything, but I did notice a smell resembling marijuana, and that's something that could hinder my future occupants. And also, if you do that to other people, then it's going to it's going to reflect on them and not on you. You know what I mean? So just be mindful of that, because it's still an area in the house. I think they were smoking in the closet too, and it still kind of smells. So that smell lingers. So now I made sure in my description I put, hey, if you do smoke inside, there's going to be like a fee of $250. That's what I put on there. So hopefully that'll deter people from doing that.
Right, right.
Another thing I want to bring up is for the first couple of tenants, I'm not tenants, but occupants that came by, I didn't have a my security system, like my ring at the doorbell. So people would come in, like 12 o'clock would come, and people would park in the garage. So I didn't know if they were there or not. You know what I mean? So having that ring at the front door really helped out, because now once they check in, I have a lockbox on my front door as well. So once they're checking that lockbox and getting the keys so they can get inside, it's the ring system is notifying me that somebody's there. So that helps out.
Wow, that's good. Do you have a certain time frame where they can't have like a no noise type policy at night?
Yeah, I have a like quiet hours. I want to say it's about 7 to 9 in the morning, something like that. Yeah, and I took that off of my HOA's website. Yeah, so
And that's another thing. So so you have an HOA, and they did you have to go through HOA approval for the Airbnb?
I didn't, because my HOA isn't that it's pretty new, so they're like really lax right now. So but I did look over the terms, and it didn't say anything about short-term rentals being restricted.
That's
So
good. You're doing your research, which is good. That's good.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Any more questions here for Lonnie?
Lonnie,
Yes, sir.
is your fee the same for weekdays as well as on the weekend, or do your fees change for the weekend?
Right now it's all the same, but you can change your rates. The platform gives you that option, but for right now, mine are flat rate.
Okay.
And I've been getting feedback from my customers, and they're saying like, hey, these are pretty cheap rates. You know what I mean? So they're people are willing to pay more, but I haven't changed it just yet.
That's a good question. Any more questions?
Hey, Lonnie, this is George. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing, George?
Hey, I'm doing well. My apologies. I'm on a walk. How you doing, Sherwin?
I'm doing well, man.
Hey, Lonnie, I got a question for you, man. This question is specific to Turo. So when you listed your vehicle, is it your primary, or do you have an alternate vehicle that you use for Turo? And a second question to that is, did your insurance go up for your car over the year?
Good question. So initially, when I first started Turo, I've been doing that for about a year. I did use like my primary vehicle, and so whenever whenever I had a rental, me and my wife, we were just sharing one car. So what we decided to do was get a second car, um, a second vehicle. So we got a Honda Accord, and we put that one. We actually got a loan and went to the dealership and got it, and went that route. So we have that vehicle, and then I got a third car, which is kind of like it's a Nissan. It's a Nissan Altima 2012. It's something that I bought off of Facebook. So it was just like I initially bought it so that I could put it on. It's another platform called Hire Car, which Hire Car I feel like is pretty valuable as well, because I had somebody rent that Nissan Altima for about 3 months. So hire car is pretty good, but those are your more so your economy type cars, where people who drive for Uber and Lyft, if they don't have a car, they can rent out cars from that platform to do that job. But so coming back to your question, I'm sorry. So yes, I did use my primary cars, but I ended up getting additional vehicles. So I have two that are listed on Toro, my truck, and then that Honda, and then I'm keeping that Nissan, so that I have a day-to-day car, because I have to go drive back and forth to work now. Before I was teleworking, so I didn't have to work. I was just working at home. But since I had to go back to the job, I'm using that car to get around and go to work. And then as far as the insurance, no, it didn't make my insurance go up, because the insurance company, my private insurance, they don't know that I'm putting my car on Turo. Because with Turo, if you put a car on there, you use their Turo's coverage. Because what happens is, let's say I do a 70-30 split. So out of the money that the customer pays me, I'll get 70%, Turo will get 30%. And if incident happens and I need to get my car repaired, I can either pursue the customer to pay for the damages, or I can go through Turo. And with Toro, I have to pay a $250 deposit, or what's it called? A
Deductible.
Deductible, exactly. Yeah. So I've done both routes, going through the customer, which they if they damage their car, they've been pretty accepting of taking on that responsibility of paying for it. But with Toro, it's the same. They depending on the rate. So if you I have mine set at that 70-30, but let's say you want to do 80-20, then that deductible is going to be more expensive if something does happen.
Hey, Lonnie, thank you. I appreciate that. That's good info. And what's new to me is that the other platform you mentioned, which is, you said Hire Car.
Yes, sir. It's
thank you.
HYRE. Hire.
Got it.
Hire Car. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's a great resource there. I haven't never heard of that before, so that's pretty good there.
Yeah, it's really nice. I really like to get into that one a lot more, but you just have to pick the right car. I end up getting the car for Facebook, and that car, I've been dumping money into that car. So that's you just have to be wise about the decision you make, because I was watching a guy on YouTube, and he was talking a lot about that one, about the Hire Car, and he was saying, hey, you could get a car for, let's say, $3,000, $5,000 on Facebook, and then put it on to Hire Car, and then people will keep it for months and months, and you'll get your money right back. And it is pretty it's true. And us being in the military, this is another thing, another option of if you don't want to go out and buy cars. This is something that I'm thinking, like, longer term, I just have to get settled. But people deploy, And if they're leaving their car for 6 months, then hey, I'll take your car and put it on this platform, and we could split. I'll manage it, and we could split the difference. So that's something that I want to get into later on down the line as well. So I mean, it's different opportunities to get vehicles without actually having to buy them. You know what I mean? So.
And Lonnie, can I add one more thing?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
ma'am.
The more you talk, the more my brain. This is what I do for a living.
Hey, I feel you.
Come up with
I feel
ideas.
you.
But you can also look into. I'm a traveler social worker, so I travel around the whole United States, and so I'm always needing a rental car. Okay, and I'm always needing somewhere to stay. And usually I use what's called Furnish Finder, but you can also host your house on Furnish Finder because you're gonna get 3 times as much as you asking for on Airbnb from because it's us nurses and it's social workers. So we travel all the time. So I'm always looking for somewhere to stay. I'm always looking for a rental vehicle. So
Okay.
that's another resource for you to be able to look into. But Furnish Finder, and then go on Facebook and get into some of these groups. I forgot where you said you are located, but you can get into the social work groups for travelers and just let them know, hey, I know y'all travelers. I have a Turo vehicle. I also have a home, that you can come and stay for a long-term stay for 3 months. And they charge, I mean, we pay from anywhere from the minimum is like $1,200 to $4,000 a month for a place to stay. So if you can get in there with the nurses, you can write your ticket. Because if you can provide the rental car and that, and I'm gonna add that third part about if you can find something that's unique to your city and your area, and you throw in a tour for $60. I'm just saying,
Oh,
it's
yes,
just so many
sir.
ways that you can utilize that to make money. So
Yes, ma'am.
yeah,
I
so I just wanted
appreciate
to
it.
share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I love those ideas. I mean, we start off with Airbnb, and then you just network off the Airbnb to Turo to Furnace Finder to the all of that, which is good. I even add another one in there, Lonnie. Oftentimes people do Airbnb, right? But then it's like where you go get food, right? So, maybe I read some the other day where you could offer a food option on there, right? Where you get a platter from a grocery store and you offer the platter, maybe as a part of your Airbnb. So there's food in the house, or if they want to go and order. And I don't know if Airbnb offer this, but I just kind of think about that from my couple experiences I live with Airbnb. It was just like, all right, you get the Airbnb, and then now you got to go and buy food. Where if they can go ahead, maybe pre-order like lemonade or different drinks, waters and sandwiches, or if they want Popeyes a certain time, you know what I mean? Like that to me, when in your line of business services, that would be pretty cool if that was part of the Airbnb, if you can have that as a service.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lonnie, you can add that as an additional service, and I'm a one up that. You can also, depending on your area, you can offer an authentic meal experience. People pay for that. So you can get with Indian food, whatever it is, like you can just figure out, or a soul food experience, like whatever. You can actually sell that experience as a part of an additional fee for Airbnb services though. So you could be like, if you want to have this authentic experience. So everybody is looking for something unique. When I'm going somewhere, I'm always looking for some unique experience, and I'm willing to pay for it. So just think about that. There's a million of people out there like me that want an experience, and we're willing to pay for it. You just have to make that experience unique so we can talk about it. So when the next group of people come, they'll want to do the same experience. So it's so much that you can do. You really position yourself really well. So just take advantage of everything right now.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. No, those are definitely great ideas. So anybody else, any questions for Lonnie? Lonnie, we do have one question here on the Facebook group. One of the members asked, what do you like most, Airbnb or Turo?
Let's see. I think I like Airbnb a little bit more because I've been wanting to jump into that space for a while. And from what I like, the money is more at this point. But you know, Toro is based off of the vehicles that you have as well. And Toro, a big thing about that is the logistics. So it's always finding. So let's say I would drop the my car or my truck off at the airport. So, you know, finding a ride back, like I'm drop it off, but I need a ride back. You know what I mean? My wife might be busy, so or since she's in the military too, she might be TDY. Do I have to take a lift back, or you know, get a friend to take me? There's always that part is kind of challenging, but it's also you know, I think it's for people like people that are in this group who have ideas and can like figure things out. So it's amazing the things that you can figure out and you know, make it work. But you know, Airbnb right now, at least this property is right next door, so that it's not going anywhere, so it makes it convenient in that aspect.
Absolutely.
But it's a lot more cleaning and everything. I have with my Toro, it's a few things that you should do. I have a GPS tracker on my vehicles, and I can remote lock it from my phone. So you know, if your vehicle doesn't have that, you can get it installed. There's this device called a drone mobile. It's about $600 to get it installed and activated, but it's worth it because I was overseas. I was in Germany, and somebody was picking up my car, and I was able to unlock it from there. So that's pretty cool, and I could see where it's at all times. And then also what was the next thing? Oh, I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah. No worries. I'll just tell you this here, Lana. It's you're in the innovation stage, right? Can you think about 5 years ago, 7 years ago, renting out a car, renting out your house? So this is just the beginning, man, with innovation, technology, and where we're at here in America, man. So, man, salute to you, man, for not waiting on that money to come to you, man, but going to get it. And you know, these days, man, a lot of kids, man, a lot of millennials, man, they want that bag, but that bag just don't come to you. You got to go out there and get it, and it takes sacrifices. And I think in your regard, what we've seen is it don't really take a lot of money. You know, as far as from what I'm hearing from you on the Airbnb side of the house. And so it's just, man, whether making that choice or whether you want to stay stable and comfortable, or in your particular case right now, things may be a little bit uncomfortable, but when it's uncomfortable, you're in a growth stage. And man, you just elevating. So I like what you're doing. I would say, man, continue to keep it up and let your light shine and continue to share your story though, man, because other people, we need to hear about this because people oftentimes are hesitant. And so, yeah, man, I'm proud of you. So let's win community. Or you want to ask something, Lonnie?
Oh, I was in preparation for tonight. I was just like thinking a lot, and something that really inspired me as a kid was the game of Monopoly. And you know, like my mom bought me the handheld game, and when I was in the seventh grade, and I used to play it. Just I was like attached to it, like we are with our phones now, and I would put it down for years and then pick it back up. But it just teaches you so much. And I had the thought today or yesterday, playing the game of Monopoly. One, you will never win the game just going around collecting $200 a salary. To win the game, you need to, you know, buy property and invest. So I think that that's true in life as well. You'll never get too far along in the game if you're just depending on collecting a basic salary. So, you know, using these different avenues to make extra income and, you know, just investing in yourself is very important. So I appreciate what you're doing and what everybody on the line showing that interest, because I think it's definitely going to take us somewhere special. So salute to y'all.
Man, that was awesome. I like that. I like that monopoly there, man. As far as it's just a basic game that we play, but it's so instrumental, man, in our daily lives. So that's a good note. That's a very good note. Any final questions, guys, before we close out tonight? All right. So, Lonnie, I want to thank you again, man, for joining us. And so, how can people follow you, man? Is there like a way on social media, man, if they want to learn more about Turo or Airbnb?
Yes, sir. You could contact me anytime on my Instagram. Let me grab my name. It's Alonza Keith. I'll leave it in the chat. So if anybody wants to take it, please get in touch with me, and I'm glad to help out wherever I can and bounce ideas off of you guys too. So Absolutely. I'll leave it in the chat right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, guys, that's always good because let's say, for instance, you may not have a question tonight per se, right? But then Lonnie is actually, in the field actually doing it. So something come up a week from now, tomorrow, he provided this information here and you guys can reach out. I learned a lot for us Airbnb. So Lonnie, man, thank you again for joining us. And so Let's Win Financial Community, thank you guys for tapping in and getting us good information as well. This is recorded. So Lonnie, if you want to, get it recorded, man, I can send it over to you as well. And I'll just be like Kenyatta, man, as far as tapping into different resources. The more experience you get in this here, man, next thing you could do is start, providing consulting on Airbnb, man, for people that want to get started, like hosting like different classes of, because some people, man, they need to the point where you just hold their hand to the point they get that first host, right? Mm-hmm. Oftentimes you can get information that's out there on YouTube, but you got that step by step in that full consulting. That's another stream. Man, it's so many, man, bags out there, man, as far as I always like to say this term right here and I'll be done. The money in this world right here is really not about money, but it's already printed. It's just that we got to learn how to get to it. The only thing we know how to do is go to work 9 to 5 and trade time for dollars versus actually figuring out different ways to say, not just get to the bag, but to be able to have like financial legacies, like for our family, other than just being married to a clock or trading time for every dollar that we make. So you doing it though, man. So, you're getting ready to knock it out also too in the military. And I know once you get done with the military, you're going to be like, you won't have them 8 hours out your day that own you. Now you got an opportunity to just elevate to the next level for sure. On top of what you're already doing.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. I can't wait.
Yeah.
And last, if I could leave this, just so everybody know, like you can't do this alone. You need a strong team. You need help. I had my wife. She was with me. She was picking out all the furniture. We had a checklist that we created to say, hey, these are the essential items that we want to have in here that you need to have. So having a strong community is going to help, take it to the next level, because it's not something that can be done alone. So I just want to leave y'all with that as well.
Awesome. Thank you for those nuggets, man. So thank you again for coming to us, man, and sharing this information. And we continue to look forward, man, to much success to you in the future. So thanks again. So Let's Win Financial Community. Thank you guys for joining again as well. And as always, be well, be blessed, and let's continue to win. All right, guys, have a great night. Thanks, Lonnie.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.